hands together for yourselves because you are the most important person in this hall. Celebrate yourself. This is an academic forum, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure that I announce Mr. Anthony Bamidele Ojo, Chairman MBA Gariki. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you. I would like to remind you again to please scan the code because you need to register for the conference. Thank you. Yes.
With your kind indulgence this morning, the media, are we ready for the national anthem? Okay, we'll take a soft music interlude for 2 minutes, and then we would have the national anthem and officially open this 2025 Love of Humanity Summit. Please give us a soft music while we get ready for the national anthem. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Please, can we all stand up for the national anthem?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign fatherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. Hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Put your hands together. Put your hands together. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it's my pleasure to recognize our dignitaries and invite you all to this event. Our next item on the list is my distinguished boss. She's here to present the opening remarks. Please put a round of applause for Mrs. Lucy James Abagi.
Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for yourself again. I will pledge your indulgence to spare my voice this morning. It's been a very long 1 month for me. But before I continue, I want to also recognize the subsidiaries. We have about 5 subsidiaries, and I know that we have about 2 other CEOs in the room. Ayuba is leading the Pivotal Development Partners. This one is he. Can you come forward? And Ifunaya is also leading development endeavors that is also planning this event. Please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for yourself. Again, thank you so much for coming. Distinguished members of the judiciary and members of the Bar students, clinicians, facilitators, development partners, members of civil society, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege to welcome you to this year's Law for Humanity Summit, proudly organized by the Public and Private Development Center, PPDC. I bring you greetings from the Board of Directors led by our founder, Barrister Chibuzo Ekweku, who is actually supposed to be here, but is taking out some time to rest after a very long trip. And he has sent me to send his love to everyone in this room, and his spirit is right here with us too. This summit is not just a gathering of professionals. It is a celebration of service, of impact, and of humanity expressed through the practice of law. It is a moment to reflect on how together we are reshaping justice delivery in Nigeria through compassion, commitment, and collaboration. Our theme this year, the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards, captures the very soul of ethical legal practice. It challenges us to remember that at the heart of our profession lies a profound responsibility to make justice accessible to all, regardless of wealth, class, or circumstances. Pro bono work, when done with diligence and integrity, is not charity. It is just freely rendered. And it is the truest of our professional excellence. It is where the lawyer's knowledge meets humanity's needs. At PPDC, we have seen this spirit come alive through the Reforming Pretrial Detention Project in Nigeria, Phase 2, a cornerstone initiative funded and supported by the United States Department of State, Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, INL, and implemented in collaboration with key justice stakeholders. When we began our PDM2, we sought to tackle one of the most persistent challenges in our criminal justice system, the excessive use of pretrial detention in Nigeria. And across Nigeria, thousands of citizens remain in custodial centers awaiting trial, some for months, others for years, often for minor offenses. I've been privileged to attend a series of jail delivery exercises, and one of them stood out for me, where a lady had served over 8 months and for stealing a power bank that belonged to her cousin, power bank. And she was already held in custody for more than 8 months and was not privileged to have seen the 4 walls of a courtroom until PPDC joined the FCCCJ for that jail delivery exercise. It actually brought tears to my eyes, and numerous of them like that. And I saw firsthand the effects of pretrial detention on our youth, on our most productive youth, and on the society at large. And across Nigeria, thousands of other citizens also remain in custodial center awaiting trial, some for months, others for years, often for minor offenses. But through our PDM2, we have taken bold, evidence-based steps to reverse that trend. And at the heart of this achievement stand our pro bono lawyers, men and women whose work exemplifies the finest traditions of the legal profession. You are the ones who step into police stations, please clap for yourself, and courtrooms, often without recognition for those who cannot speak for themselves. Your efforts have challenged unlawful detentions, secured bail for indigent suspects, prevented countless miscarriages of justice, and ensured that due process is upheld, no matter who the client is. And you have done all this while maintaining the highest professional standards, demonstrating that ethical excellence and public service can coexist. Please put your hands together for yourself again. Through our PDM2, our network of pro bono lawyers has handled thousands of active cases across the states of implementation, and these lawyers are redefining what it means to be a legal professional. I must also shine light on the police duty solicitors whose work continues to transform the interface between citizens and law enforcement. The presence of PDSS at stations across Nigeria has brought early intervention to suspects who would otherwise be left without guidance or representation. Because of their vigilance, arrests are better documented, rights are more respected, and the culture of arbitrary detention is slowly being replaced by that of accountability. These are quiet icons. I like to call them icons, taking taking their place in the justice system, and are also upholding human rights at the police station and across the courtroom. To our law clinic facilitators, I'd like to mention that we have very seasoned and well-exposed law clinic facilitators who are supporting our clinicians across ABU Zaria. Are you in the house now? University of Abuja, University of Jos. Thank you for clapping. The Law School, Yola Campus, Bayes University, Nasarawa State University, NAI University, Veritas University, Anchor University, University Law Clinic, and Philomat University. Please, if you're here, put your hands together again for yourself. Now, allow me to share a few highlights. And at this point, I will encourage you to take note of the data that speaks volumes about our shared progress. Over the last 2 years, we've trained over 330 clinicians across 10 law faculties, and we have engaged over 200 pro bono lawyers and 50 police duty solicitors to provide specialized legal representation for indigent Nigerians. The 50 young lawyers serve as police duty solicitors across 50 police stations in 5 states, a number that is just very minimal compared to the 36 states, and have so far provided legal representation for 15,314 Nigerians, and have secured bail for 8,552 arrested Nigerians. I don't know if you understand what that means. What that means in real time is the fact that we have stopped 15 people from entering into police detention centers. You understand? That is just police. And I'm being informed that there are more than 10 detention centers that we don't even know what is happening there. But our PDSS, so active young people, have been able to bring this result on board. And our pro bono lawyers have provided legal representation to 5,595 detainees, of which 164 of these detainees have regained their freedom after years of detention. Each of these figures represent not just progress, but people's lives saved and restored. People's lives saved. I like to make that emphasis, that we are saving lives. People's dignity, rights have been restored. People have been united with their families. Because in Nigeria and across the world, people can just disappear, without us knowing that they've been held up in custody. So we've helped to unite families, and we've also done what? Place justice to be renewed, and the justice reform to be articulated for these ones. I would like to mention that these successes have been possible because of our shared partnership with the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria. Your hands together for them. The Nigerian Bar Association, the Nigeria Police Force, the Nigeria Correctional Service, various civil society partners, and academic partners. Together, we have built a model Of course, this is a model, and we are still at the pilot. We've built a model that shows how systemic change happens when institutions unite around a common vision of fairness and accountability. As we reflect on this achievement, we must look ahead. Our vision is no Nigeria should ever remain in custody simply because they are poor or unrepresented. To make this a reality, PPDC will continue to strengthen our pro bono network across all states. It's really very, very, I would call it a very big dream to have pro bono representation, PDSS structures scattered around 36 states. Some of our champions now can also tell you some of the internal processes and rigorous work that we have to do to manage these little numbers we have. So at the top of our head, imagine we have spread across Nigeria pro bono lawyers. That would be about roughly maybe 100 times state, times east, that would be about 3,600. And that's a lot of numbers to manage, but we are committed to do this. And then we also want to deepen partnership with law enforcement agencies and invest in the capacity of young lawyers and student clinicians to sustain the momentum. As much as we have recorded this massive result, we still have work to do, like I've mentioned. And I want to list some of the challenges that we've encountered while implementing this. And one of them is that at the police station, access to suspect remains one of the most pressing difficulties, especially with cases referred to as IGP cases, where detainees are kept in custody for indefinite periods without clear timeline for release or arraignment or even to legal representation. And too often our lawyers are denied timely access to clients in custody. If you're a witness to this, you can lift your hand, or they are made to wait endlessly before being allowed to perform their duties. In some police stations where our duty solicitors are stationed, their roles are still misunderstood or undervalued by law enforcement officers, leading to unnecessary tension and delay. Within the courts, we face another set of hurdles. Poor coordination, frequent adjournment, and heavy caseloads all contribute to slowing down the wheels of justice. Without predictable funding stream, whether from government allocation, institutional grant, or private sector partnership, it's also very difficult to expand the reach of our services to retain experienced lawyers who are passionate about public service. Limited infrastructure, for instance, some of our pro bono lawyers, in fact, most importantly, our PDSS experience a lot of hardship at the police station. Some of them do not have where to sit, for instance, they don't have, where to keep their things. Some have to stand for hours, trying to provide the services, and we can barely even provide, computers for all the 50 of them. So some of them are experiencing these levels of challenges, but they are still very, very dogged. We also have the absence of proper court and law enforcement facilities, making it difficult for our lawyers to operate efficiently. Yet, despite these obstacles, they continue to show up, and they show extraordinary dedication. They remain steadfast in their mission to ensure that justice is not a privilege for the wealthy, but a right accessible to all. Through all this, our champions have remained dogged and service-driven. And under my leadership as the CEO of PPDC, I assure you that PPDC will strive to continue to support this initiative. I would like to take this time to make my message today clear. That while we celebrate our achievement, we must also confront these realities with courage. We must strengthen our advocacy for greater institutional support, sustainable funding, and deeper collaboration between the bar, the bench, development partners, and the private sector. Because the truth is, justice cannot thrive on goodwill alone. It requires commitment, structure, resources. And if we truly want to build a fair and inclusive justice system, then we must invest in those who give their time, their energy, and their expertise freely in service of others. Our pro bono lawyers and duty solicitors scheme are driven by passion and conviction and not by profit. Yet, without sustainable funding, even the most committed lawyer can only do so much. And you ask, why do they need money? They said it's pro bono. It's supposed to be free, but they pay transport, they make calls. Are we together? They have to transport themselves to the court. They have to buy credit, to follow up on some of the administrative work that, they have to print. They have to do documentation. They have to do filing. That also costs money. In conclusion, this summit is not just a reflection on what has been done. It's a call to what remains to be achieved. The quintessential pro bono lawyer is not defined by the absence of payment, but by the presence of purpose. They are the embodiment of justice as a public good, providing value without compromise, service without self-interest, and advocacy without fear. Today, we celebrate every lawyer, every police duty solicitor, every student clinician, and every partner who has stood with us to ensure that justice is not a privilege, but a right for all. Together, we are proving that law can be human, that service can be professional, and that justice can indeed be accessible, ethical, and inclusive. Lastly, please, if you're in the room, I know we are still expecting some university and some of our partners. If you're in the room and you serve as our pro bono lawyers or PDCSS, please can you be on your feet? Can I get that song? Stand up for the champion. Is it possible? We'll still find time to celebrate them. Please, can you put your hands together, 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 together for them. We still have more of them coming, and as the event unfolds, we'll keep celebrating them. Please take your seat. So please, today we're just starting, but we have our program really packed out to serve everyone, and we have, seasoned experts in the room that has honored us with their presence, the keynote speaker and other facilitators that are here today. And I'm sure that they are going to bring their A game to this event. So please sit down, relax. Thank you again, and welcome to the Law for Humanity Summit 2025. Put your hands together, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our CEO. If it is in church, we'll say this clap lacks vitamin C. This clap, I want to tell you now, it lacks vitamin C and D. Please put your hands together for our CEO. Wonderful speech. Wonderful speech, and we are inspired by that speech, and we will continue to do more. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of us have scanned the agenda? Have we scanned the agenda? Yes, so you can scan the barcode rather to get the agenda. Scan the barcode to get the agenda. I am being told that we have some more dignitaries in our midst, and I want to recognize them. It is my pleasure to recognize the coordinator of Bayes University Law Clinic, Mr. Tosin Oke. Can we celebrate him, please? Thank you so much. We also have the host university, Who can tell me the host university? Okay, we have several universities even in the FCT, but the host public university, that is the University of Abuja. Ladies and gentlemen, let's clap, put our hands together for clinicians from the University of Abuja. I want to see you. Can you stand up? Clinicians from you in Abuja. Can you stand up and make some loud noise? Celebrate them, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I am also informed that we have in our midst, all the way from Kefi, the chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Kefi branch, Mr. Haruna Favor. You are welcome. You are welcome, specially, sir. That one is my chairman. Oh. Let's celebrate him again, please. Let me be partial. Thank you so much. And now, for the next item on the agenda, we would have some goodwill messages. And before that, we want to also welcome every of our CSO partner, especially those in the access to justice space that have been working to enhance justice in Nigeria. We recognize you and we celebrate you. Please, and we would announce and specially celebrate you once we get your details. This morning, on behalf of the MBA branches in the FCT, I would want to invite the chairman of MBA Garki branch, Mr. Anthony Bamidele Ojo, to have special goodwill messages on behalf of the chairman of the MBA in the FCT. We would have every goodwill for 2 minutes. Thank you. So please celebrate him, please.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I want to respectfully adopt the already established protocol. I want to use this opportunity and privilege given to me by the organizers of this event to, on behalf of the chairman of the branches of the MBA in the Federal Capital Territory, welcome everyone. I want to particularly commend the PPDC for its consistent efforts so far in ensuring, just like the CEO has said, that they continue to save lives and restore hope in the lives of the citizens whose lives they are touching, to guarantee that justice is not a privilege but a right. And particularly, I was going to ask if the Nigerian police force was invited here, because even on a personal note, as a result of the efforts of my branch duty solicitor scheme and myself, the major challenge we've had in this business has been the Nigerian police force, especially when you have to deal with special cases that have to do with IGP monitoring team, some cybercrime cases and what have you. You witness a lot of resistance. They become very uncomfortable when a lawyer is involved, and you hear all kinds of threats. So I think maybe subsequently we should get them invited and make sure as much as possible that they attend events like this. This is to ensure that they gear up to the realities of the time, that impunity can no longer be the order of the day when we have to do with matters of access to justice for citizens. The presumption of innocence is guaranteed under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as altered, and it remains standard like the Rock of Gibraltar. So you don't, upon arrest, on your own automatically convict a suspect of that offense until the contrary is stated or the person is proven guilty by a competent court of law. So I want to applaud the PPDC once again for its efforts. I want to also applaud the Legal Aid Council represented by our daddy, Mr. Ibukunle here, for their consistent efforts. And I also want to applaud the efforts of all the champions and representatives and legal practitioners, clinicians, law students who have keyed into this work. Please do not give up. We'll continue to strive to achieve success in this goal, in this ennobling activity. And I wish you all a wonderful summit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next goodwill message comes from one of our long-standing partners in Access to Justice. I want to welcome Professor C.V. Odeme. He's the Veritas University Law Clinic Coordinator.
Thank you. Dear distinguished delegates and fellow students, a round of applause for that. A teacher is a lifetime student, and that's why I will always refer to students as fellow students. We keep learning with you. And what clinical legal education has done is to make sure that this partnership continues to exist, where the classroom doesn't belong to the teacher alone, but belongs to the students and teachers in equal proportion. And what clinical legal education does is to bring back teaching into action, where the students have the bigger part of the pie, with the teacher moderating activities. And this is one thing that PPDC has ensured that it happens. A round of applause for PPDC. PPDC has made it possible for clinical legal education to be as exceptionally practiced in the areas that they have shown interest for now. The universities who are running clinics, many of them are supported by PPDC, and they have made sure that the students have access to detention facilities, the police stations, and courts, which is a broader part of legal education training in this century. So I want to propose that when we mention the word PPDC, we should respond, saving rights. Did you hear that? When I say PPDC, you say saving rights. Can we practice that? PPDC. No. My fellow students, where are you? Can we say saving rights? Where are my fellow students? Can we do it from this side? PPDC, PPDC, PPDC. And today is a beautiful day. We want to take all the time in goodwill. So we wish PPDC the best of times, and we wish all of us a beautiful summit. And God bless Nigeria, God bless PPDC, and God bless everyone in this room. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Odeme. Our next goodwill message comes from a partner whose work truly embodies the spirit of law for humanity. I want to introduce Mrs. Halimat Yusuf, Coordinator MBA Pro Bono Team.
Good morning, everyone. I stand on existing protocol, or already existing protocol. My name is Halima Yusuf, the MBA Program Coordinator. Distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to extend warm greetings and goodwill message to the Nigerian Bar Association Pro Bono Center, to the organizers and participants of this year's Law for Humanity Summit, convened by the Public and Private Development Center. This summit speaks directly to the heart of our calling as legal practitioners. It reminds us that while the pursuit of justice is noble, it must also be guided by competence, ethics, and unwavering commitment to professionalism and excellence. As lawyers, our duty extends beyond our clients to the larger society. Through pro bono service, we give life to the constitutional promise to equal access to justice. Yet, even in service freely rendered, we must maintain the integrity, diligence, and professionalism that define the noble ideals of the bar. The Nigerian Bar Association Pro Bono Center, through its pro bono initiative, continues to champion access to justice for poor, the vulnerable, and the marginalized. We recognize and commend the PPDC for providing this important platform to celebrate the reinforcement, the excellence of legal service as a tool for humanity and social transformation. I urge all participants to take inspiration from today's deliberations to strengthen their resolve to serve, to uphold the highest standards of the professional, and to the shining examples of what it truly means to be a quintessential pro bono lawyer. On behalf of the MBA Pro Bono Center, I congratulate the PPDC for the laudable efforts and reaffirm our readiness to collaborate in all initiatives that promote justice, accountability, and service to humanity. Thank you all. I wish everyone a peaceful deliberation.
Thank you very much, ma'am. The next item we have on the list is a special remarks from Mr. Bamidele Ibukunle, Director, Legal Aid Council of Nigeria. Welcome to the podium, sir.
Good morning. My name is Bamidele Ibekonle. I am a technical assistant in the office of the DG, Legal Aid Council. I bring warm greetings from the Director General Legal Aid Council, Mr. Aliu Bagudu Abubakar, who would have loved to be here, but you know how Chief Executive schedules looks like. He has directed me to extend his warm regards to the Chief Executive Officer of PPDC, the special guests, and all attendees of this conference. It is with great pleasure that we are attending the Law for Humanity Summit 2025. The theme, the quintessential pro bono lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standard, is apt for this moment. The theme goes in line with the goal of Legal Aid Council. As if we had a meeting with Legal Aid Council, with PPDC in discussing this thing. We've had a lot of worries with the standard of services being provided by our learned colleagues in the private bar. when it gets to providing pro bono services. We have discovered that some of them are only interested in these cases to be able to meet up, maybe you understand what I mean. Lucy is like she's beginning to. So they don't put in all the energy that is required compared to when they are paid. So this team is actually apt, and we are grateful for this big opportunity. I thank PPDC for inviting Professor Akinola Bukola. I hope to learn from your paper today. Yes, I hope to. It is our belief that this summit will actually change the narrative of rendering pro bono services by our learned colleagues. The DG has directed me to appreciate PPDC for the long-standing relationship in terms of support for PDSS, Police Duty Solicitor Scheme, pro bono services, and development of app for paralegal services and legal aid delivery in Nigeria. LACON is assuring PPDC of continued collaboration to enhance access to justice in Nigeria. I'm glad to hear from the coordinator, Pro Bono NBA. It's good that at least you made a remark this morning. I think there's a need for us to work together. Legal Aid Council and your unit. It's quite important. We have a department at the Legal Aid Council that has to do with pro bono services by our learned colleagues at the private bar. I wish all of us a successful summit. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's appreciate him one more time. Can we put our hands together for him, please? Gradually, we are getting to the climax of the summit for today. I want to recognize one of our panelists for today, and who happens to be the former chairman of MBA Kefi branch and presently the chairman Citizens Liberties Committee of the MBA National, Mr. Nuhu J. Egia. You're welcome, sir. We also want to welcome our clinicians from Veritas Universities. Please, can you make some noise? Thank you so much. I also want to welcome and recognize the presence of Mr. Yakusak Adwak, Nigerian Law School Law Clinic for Yola campus. Please, you are specially recognized, sir. Please, let's appreciate him, please. Our theme for the 2025 Law for Humanity Summit is the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Just as the representative of the DG of the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria has said, for some time now, we have noticed an abuse in the process of rendering of pro bono services. Some of them deliberate, some might be indeliberate, but PPDC as an organization has decided to strengthen the pro bono services in Nigeria. And to deliver a keynote address centered on this theme this morning is an erudite scholar that we all respect and would want to listen to. It is now my pleasure to invite my colleague, Manasseh Akpa to come forward and read the citation of the keynote speaker and then invite the keynote speaker. You're welcome, sir. Please celebrate my colleague Manasseh.
Thank you so much, Joshua. I've been given a task I love so much in events like this, which is to read citation of keynote speakers. This is because I pray to be one someday, and I always look forward to such moments with deep reflection on how I am growing in the profession. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not busy, can we put our hands together as I welcome on stage Professor Omoni Bukola Akiola. Keep those hands clapping, keep those hands clapping. For those of us that went to the Nigerian Law School in Enugu, we can do better than that. We have our teacher coming up. Keep those hands clapping. Prof, may I request that you stand? Sorry, thank you. Okay. Thank you so much, Prof. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my singular honor and privilege to present the citation of an accomplished legal scholar, a visionary teacher, and a shining light in African legal education. Professor Omoni Bukola Akiola is a distinguished barrister at law, seasoned academic, eminent professor of law, renowned for his expertise in legal ethics and education, comparative company law, comparative antitrust law, and international commercial arbitration. A consummate scholar, Professor Akiola earns his Bachelor of Laws LLB degree with second-class honors upper division from the University of Ilorin in February 2003. He then proceeded to the Nigerian Law School, Abuja, where he excelled in the Bar 2 examinations and was duly called to the Nigerian Bar. He obtained his Master of Laws LLM from Abia State University in 2007 and later earned a Doctor of Philosophy PhD in Comparative Company Law from the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, in 2014. Professor Akiola began his illustrious academic career as a graduate assistant at Abia State University before joining the Council of Legal Education as a lecturer at the Nigerian Law School, Enugu's campus. Of course, the only campus with a name. Do we have proud alumni here? Over the years, he distinguished himself as an innovative teacher and administrator, serving as Deputy Director of Academics and Acting Head, Department of Professional Ethics and Legal Skills between 2015 to 2019. He was later appointed Head of the Department of Corporate Law Practice in the Nigerian Law School, Kano campus, where he served on the expert committee that drafted the current curriculum of professional ethics and corporate law practice at the Nigerian Law School between 2008 and 2019. In recognition of his academic excellence and leadership, he was appointed Professor of Law at Elizade University, Ondo State, in October 2020, where he also served as the head of the Department of Private and Property Law. He later became Dean, Faculty of Law at the Redeemer State University, Ede, Nigeria, between 2021 to 2023. And subsequently, he also served as a Dean and Professor, School of Law, Kampala International University, Uganda, between 2023 to 2024. He is presently a Professor of Law at Base University, Abuja, where he continues to inspire the next generation of legal minds across the continent. At Base University, Professor Akiola teaches international commercial arbitration, mediation and conciliation, and international maritime law at the postgraduate level, as well as company law, Introduction to Nigerian Justice System and Legal Method at the undergraduate level. He is also an active member of the Base University Law Clinic. A prolific scholar and a visionary leader, Professor Akiola is the founder and editor-in-chief of 3 reputable academic journals: the African Journal of Law, Ethics and Education, the African Journal of Legal Research, and the Castle Law Journal. His editorial leadership and mentorship have elevated scholarly standards within and beyond Africa, and he continues to serve as a consultant to numerous law journals and academic platforms across the continent. Beyond the academia, Professor Akiola has been an active and respected voice in the Nigerian Bar Association. He served as the vice chairman of the NBA Enugu branch between 2018 to 2020 and currently chairs the Continuing Legal Education Committee of the NBA Oshogbo branch. With over 21 years of teaching, research, and legal practice experience, Professor Akiola has authored and co-authored several scholarly books and numerous peer-reviewed articles in leading journals. His work continues to shape contemporary discourse in corporate governance, legal ethics, and arbitration law across Africa and beyond. In addition to his academic pursuit, he is also a senior partner and the head of chambers at Kayode Ajulo, SAN & Co., Castle Law, Asokoro, Abuja, where he continues to provide expert legal counsel and legal representation in corporate, commercial, and arbitration matters. An articulate orator and a passionate educator, Professor Akiola stands as a beacon of excellence in legal scholarship and professional ethics. Ladies and gentlemen, if your hands are not busy, join me as I present to you our distinguished keynote speaker, who once upon a time was my teacher at the Nigerian Law School, Augustine Nnamani Campus, Enugu. We can do better, please. Thank you so much, Prof, for coming. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Manasseh. May I stand on the established protocols this morning with special appreciation to the CEO, PPDC, and our team for the privilege and the honor to deliver the keynote speaker this morning. Now, the first question I will ask this morning is, why am I living? And that's the question I will ask every one of us. Why are you living? Then the second question is, what am I living for? And these questions will make you to appreciate our gathering this morning and the very appreciative role of PPDC. Please, let's jam our hands together for this wonderful team this morning. Now, we are not clapping for PPDC because we have never been detained at the police station. If you have been detained at the police station, or possibly you are detained in the underground cell, you are not saying, you don't know when it's day or night or afternoon, you will appreciate those who are out there trying to get you out of that logjam. Now, this morning, I want to thank them for the team, Law for Humanity. And I think any law that is not for humanity is actually no law. So law is actually for humanity. And our law students here, let's cast our mind to the days of General Sani Abacha. If you are alive between 1994, 1993 November when he took power, till 1998, when God had to do a coup. You know, the best coup is the coup by God. Now, during Abacha, you don't have all the freedom. The lawyers who are here knows that. You don't have all the freedom not even to go to court. The state determines what you do. Go and Google NADECO. Then you will appreciate what we are doing this morning. Now, today we have before us a very vital subject, which is not just for discourse or gathering, but for implementation. Now, if you don't have passion for law, when you have a burden for the society, you will have passion for this profession. And it is that passion that has kept quite a number of our colleagues here this morning going. Because the word pro bono is not a lovable word by lawyers. It's not something we love to do. You are serving without immediate reward. And before us this morning is the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Those who are law students, I want to congratulate you this morning for the privilege to be in a gathering of this nature. Not many of us were this privileged when we were in our various universities. To come around, interact with scholars across several divides. Now, when we talk pro bono today in Nigeria, PPDC and their funding partners should be commended. And I have my reasons. If you come to my office, it's a firm of senior advocates. For us to appear for you in the police station, the minimum fee is ₦1 million just to go and follow you. And some will charge you 2 million, some will charge you 3 million. But just to follow you to police station, we charge benchmark minimum ₦1 million. Now, asking us to do that for free, you are looking at opportunity cost. You are looking at the alternative forgone. And that is what people like Mr. Bayo Akinlade, former chairman Ikorodu branch, has been doing for years on a daily basis. So they forfeit their millions and pray, give us this day our daily bread. So it's a lot of sacrifice to talk pro bono. So when I received the invitation to be the keynote speaker this morning, and the emails were coming, I know Joshua and his team, they meant business. Now, the word quintessential signifies purity, a perfect example, an ideal lawyer. I'm not going to bore you with theoretical submissions. I practice law, I teach law, and I do law clinic a lot. As a matter of fact, I was the law clinic coordinator, Nigerian Law School, Enugu campus for 5 years. That was between October 2015 and September 2019. And I took my students to villages. We did a lot of advocacy. We went to the prisons. So I'm not just talking from a theoretical point of view. I was vice chairman Enugu Bar, and I was the chairman statutorily of the Human Rights Committee. So we need to enter courts and set people free. Using your money to pay for filing and so on and so forth. So a lawyer is a person trained in the art of and practice of law and licensed to practice same within his territorial license. Now you are licensed by the body of benchers. You are admitted to the bar. Very good. There is also another body that will show you the way out. It's called the LPDC. And why would they show you the way out? Is when you have compromised professional standards. There are standards we set in the profession. Law is a regulated profession. Even the way you charge money is regulated. You don't undercharge. And I've read a few cases where the Court of Appeal said the lawyer overcharged. when it comes to recovery. But most times I know, by virtue of Section 15 of the Legal Practitioners Act, which established Legal Practitioners Remuneration Committee, you dare not undercharge and you are caught. Now, the essence of this summit is the value addition for me. Is the value addition of you being the pro bono lawyer. So a quintessential lawyer is a perfect lawyer with the competence and skill to deliver efficient and beneficial legal service. Of what use is a legal service that is not beneficial? Your legal service is beneficial when your clients have that satisfaction that you have worked for him as his lawyer. When whatever agency that is financing that case file, they have satisfaction for the money expended. When the CEO was making her remarks, her opening remarks, she gave us statistics in thousands of their pro bono activity and access to justice initiative. Now the ideal lawyer, the exemplary lawyer, a perfect example. Now the question that readily comes to mind is, if I do pro bono, how will I feed my family? If I do pro bono, how will I pay school fees in Abuja, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt? And I'm happy our students are here from Nile, from Base. I think my university now, Base University, we just collect a little above 6 million. My guy is here, Tosin, okay. We just manage 6 million, I think, for new entrants. So that is to read law for one session, aside accommodation. It's not inclusive of accommodation. So some of us, like Mr. Bayo, we had free education. Because the highest money I pay at the University of Ilorin was actually 4,500 naira. Was the highest. So subsequently, we were paying 1,500 until we graduated, and we had to pay for law school. So legal education is not free. The same way legal services are expensive. So if you are looking for a cheap lawyer, you won't find any, except those who make themselves cheap by choice. The moment you practice law and your shoe is going to quarter-final, semi-final, and once the iron begins to come out, that is the final stage of the shoe. So you must have at the back of your mind a lawyer that must be able to pay his bills. Now, how do you manage that with running pro bono service? Sometimes I laugh when I read papers, people write criticizing those who are in duty solicitor scheme. I say it's as absolute ignorance. As absolute ignorance. I see them as people who just like to use the social media to also keep them busy in their ignorant expedition. Because I'm in there locked by the state, and somebody is out there trying to get me out. What ill, what evil has the person committed? Not everybody will work in the Legal Aid Council. But let's be that lawyer who is compassionate in service. And that's where the law clinic is coming. Now, the word pro bono theoretically means pro bono publico. It is short form that is called pro bono. It is synonymous with legal work for clients with low income or without charge. It is pro-indigent. You consider the poor, and it is a moral obligation, a legal obligation, and also a religious duty. So it's 3 in 1 when you do pro bono. Remember the Samaritan who helped the man that was injured by the robbers. So it's not today that we have robbers. Robbers existed right from the time of Jesus Christ. And Jesus did not solve all the problems of the world before he left. So does other religions. So there are problems for you to solve. As law students, upon your being called to bar, there are cases you will do pro bono. Let me go on because of our time. The pro bono service is rendered as a form of giving back to the society by way of professional corporate social responsibility. It's your own CSR. You are giving back. Those of us who are trained by the money of the government, we have a major duty to give back to society. It is a form of value addition to the society. It fulfills religious, moral obligation of remembering those in need through our privileged positions. Now, let's look at a few legal framework for rendering pro bono service. Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gives us our rights, which ought to be protected. And in protecting these rights, of course, you will need the service of lawyers. If you look at Section 36, Sub 5, Sub 6, and those provisos there, how will you be entitled to a counsel of your choice if you are not represented? We are talking the spirit and the letters of the Constitution. Also does the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, which gives rights on access to justice, equal protection of the law. And the main statute, which is the Legal Aid Act of 2011, littered with several provisions, including a general fund to assist indigent clients, let me put it that way, to have access to justice. People, by law, whose income is below the minimum wage, below the national minimum wage, they are qualified under the law. And the act, right from 1976, has been expanded now to capture certain civil matters. Now we have the guidelines for the conferment of the rank of Senior Advocate of Nigeria. By Article 9, Sub 5, Sub B, there must be evidence that you have done from beginning to the end of at least 3 pro bono cases. Without meeting those conditions, you won't be able to qualify for the rank to enter the inner bar. So also does the various high court rules of the various states. There is a provision for proceedings informa pauperis. For those who are poor, it's in the main paper. You have to write an application in writing. In Abuja, it's Order 51, Rule 1, 2, and 3. You write to the Chief Judge that you won't be able to afford the service of a lawyer. So they allow you to do your filings free, and you attach an affidavit. And if the Chief Judge, upon review, it's in all the rules. It's just that we don't invoke it. And quite a number of lawyers don't even know that such provisions exist. But if you look at the current FCT rules, Rule 2025 is in Order 51, Rule 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, if you look at the repealed rule, 2018 rule is in Order 54. It's in Order 54. So the rule allows you to bring an application in writing, supported with an affidavit to the CJ, asking that you want to do this matter without paying cost and fees. And the CJ will give further directives. And we have quite a number of institutional framework for pro bono service in Nigeria. Because of our time, we have the courts. By reason and virtue of Section 6 of the Constitution, we have the Legal Aid Council, which are readily available at the Federal Ministry of Justice and also in collaboration with state ministries of justice. Then we have the National Human Rights Commission, we have the Public Complaints Commission, we have the Human Rights Committee, and also the NBA Pro Bono Center, headed by our sister Alimat Yusuf, who was just giving a remark this morning. Then we have quite a number of NGO, and I've recognized PPDC as a leader in this respect. We have the MacArthur Foundation, DFID, and so on and so forth. Also, we have the National Youth Corps, that is the NYC Legal Aid Community Service Unit, comprising of lawyers who are core members. When I see lawyers say copper, honestly, I'm always shocked. It's not a wire. Copper is a wire. It's a core member. That's the right legal language. Because the Act established a core. And members of the core are called core members, not copper. Some will even say copper. Why? It's not copper. It's core member. Because as a lawyer, you must choose your language. Language is your tool as a lawyer. So sometimes when I'm teaching and my students say, sir, I'm going to serve as a copper, I say, no, except you want to be a conductor, conducting electricity from the meter right to the socket. So you are not a copper. Go and check the meaning of copper. The dictionary will give you something different. So you are simply a core member. Then we have the heart of it, the university and law school-based law clinics. Mr. Adwak Yakusak from Yola, my colleague at the law school, is here this morning, all the way from Yola, because of what they do at the clinic. The same with Bagauda Clinic. University of Ibadan, they have a women law clinic. So the clinical operations have gone so big in Nigeria. So big. When I was in Kampala, we revitalized the law clinic, which was started by a Nigerian, Professor Benga Samuel, okay, years back. And the moment he died, he left, the clinic died. But I didn't allow it to die. I put somebody there now who is managing the clinic very well for them in Kampala. Now, the major advantage of clinical operation is the zeal of the students. Our students are so zealous. They are not bothered by school fees or rent or how to fix my car or flight tickets. They just have the energy to read book and do research and go on. So it's an untapped field. I'm going to go to the role of clinical operation very soon. So we see that field. But let's look at the role of CLE, the role of clinical legal education in promoting and sustaining pro bono service in Nigeria. Number one, access to information on legal education, such as rights to legal representation. CLE enables us to have access to information, also capacity development for sustainable pro bono service providers. We can, through CLE, through experiential learning, and train the teacher initiatives of clinical programs, develop further capacity, as we are doing now. We are developing capacity. How do I tackle this issue? We are networking, and that is the role of CLE. We can also do strategic mapping. We can have universities from Northeast cover that axis for us. Universities in Abuja can go to Suleja to go and cover that axis. If you are waiting for a law faculty in Niger State, it's now that the law program, we have the FUT-MINA, which does not have a law program. So it's only a few private universities in Mina now, and Ibrahim Badagman University that have a law clinic. And that's why you see law clinics in Abuja going there to go and debrief the inmates. And there are shocking statistics of pre-trial detainees in Nigeria. Very shocking statistics. So when I was in Enugu, there was a day we went to the prison. And the convicts are, I don't want to exaggerate, I'm talking based on what I saw. The convicts are 1/10 of the pre-trial detainees. They are more than 1/10. So 90% of those who are in prison as of that time were just pre-trial detainees. People whose cases are still ongoing in court who does not know their fate. And some of them are in prison just for political setup. You are going to disrupt our election in the coming election. So we trump up a charge against you and we keep you away. After the election, we take you on bail. Or the bail never comes. Some, because they couldn't settle the police. And I want to thank one of the speakers who said the police ought to be here. Because you cannot pay million naira just to come out of detention. 40 million naira. I was asking them whether he was dead and they are trying to raise him up. Because if it's just to set somebody free, and that's how they share the money. I'm telling you a life case that happened recently, that happened last week. And it was set up by his friend. So the friend already has his own court in the morning. So things are happening and things will continue to happen. May we not be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So who is the next victim of the setup? What about blackmail? We have elevated social media posts now to the level of cybercrime. And at the slightest provocation, somebody who does not know the face, who does not like the face of the technical assistant to the DG of LAC, and just setting up. Or somebody who doesn't like me, just say, this man, you are too tall for my likeness. You need to go to jail. Facebook with his children, I say, God, thank God, though, this man is still alive with his children. It's a lot of sacrifice. It's a lot of risk. In Nigeria, those who are alive have not even taken care of themselves, not to talk of when you die and you leave your children. So that will take us later to threats to rendering pro bono service. Some lawyers don't even like the word pro bono. They don't like it. I remember when I was vice, and he used to deliver his word and some other words around him, not his local government. So we don't want somebody that will deliver in the next election, so they have to keep him away. So until you become a victim, you will appreciate what you are doing here today. So our clinical operations are also very useful for data collection and protection. We get a lot of data using CLE. So we shouldn't wait for those who want to become SCN before we do pro bono service. I gave a client my card last month, and the client said, oh, sorry, I won't be able to afford your service. And I felt bad. We have not said anything. We actually went to a police station in Buhari to get somebody the petition was written. And the man said, sir, you are a lawyer, let me have your card. And he looked at it and said, I won't be able to afford. I said, please call me, don't worry, just call me. If you can't afford mine, I can recommend you for those whose service you can afford. And he did. And I gave the matter to somebody I know is 5 years post-call and is very hardworking. And I said, please, whatever he pays, take. If you need to move around, I will support you. And they are doing well. So it's not everybody that will be able to afford the service of Mr. No, who is a big lawyer in Nasarawa, in Abuja too. It's not everybody that will be able to afford the service of Bayo Akinlade in Lagos when they charge you. It's not everybody that will be able to afford that service. That's the truth. Because what lawyers price is our time, our investment. We price it. If you are retaining me for so and so number of years to do your matter, I will be running up and down, then it should be for something that is worth it. And if you are doing it pro bono, I know I'm doing it as a way of giving back to the society. And the truth is, a lot of lawyers are doing it now. A lot of lawyers are doing it now. So we have sensitization initiatives on pro bono. We need to create more awareness like this, like what PPDC is doing. So international support, you always get support. You always get support. Support need not only be financial. Even there are financial support. Makato Foundation, SERAP, Network of Pro Bono Lawyers, Constitutional Rights Project, Civil Liberties Organization, Legal Defense and Assistance Project, led up, Hope Behind Bars. Now let's look at without compromising standard now. We are not advocating that you run a 100% pro bono service, except you have a non-government organization. But we are advocating that within the walls and ethics of the profession, pro bono should be within your reach. It should be factored into your mechanism for delivering service. Oh, I don't have pro bono clients. Meet the technical advisor. He has more than enough. All you need to do is ask, and it shall be given unto you. Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and the door shall be open. That's all you need. The quality of the lawyers they have invited this morning, they have quite a number of. I've not been called to the bar. It's not an excuse. You can assist them with data, to get data from Suleja, from other prisons, from Kefi. You can get those who are without legal representation. And lawyers do it. When they want to get SAN, they go to prisons. They will go and be looking for cases of people who don't have legal representation because they believe it will move faster. And they will be able to use it to get the rank of senior advocate of Nigeria. So as I round up, value addition of pro bono service. Rule one. If you don't know anything as a lawyer, you must know your rule one of the rules of professional conduct for legal practitioners. Before, it used to be 2007, but in 2023, it was amended. But rule one still remains. Duty to uphold the rule of law. You have a duty to the state. So a lawyer is an officer of the law by rule 30 of the RPC. You are a minister in the temple of justice. So your duty is not only to your clients. You have a duty to the profession. You have a duty to your colleagues. So that you don't start keeping malice in 300 level. The brief that will make you is in the hand of your classmates. I'm not joking about it. Those of you who are professional malice keepers, any little thing you stop greeting your classmate, that's the next DG of Legal Aid Council, and you need SAN. So you better start greeting again. They even carry you in the same bus. You still say, I won't sit with this person. You are just being childish. I've gotten a classmate who gave me a brief and I built another house from that brief. I'm not joking. She works with a federal government agency, and I was in Enugu, and they needed a lawyer in Enugu, and she recommended me. And they pay more than the salary of me and Professor Victor Udueme. The money was so okay that I feel good. I was able to build a whole house from the brief. Assuming I'm keeping my list with that one, you know I'm in trouble. It's hunger that I'm writing application to be hungry. Yes. So please network, collaborate, work together. So we have a duty not to compromise our standard. Rule 14 says a duty to devote energy, time, and skill to the cause of the clients. The fact that it's pro bono doesn't mean you should abandon the case midway. It's a serious ethical issue. Don't abandon cases midway because you've gotten what you wanted out of the case. The rule is, if you are not going to continue, professionally hand it over to another lawyer and let them continue. And there is even no reason not to continue. You are doing your work as a lawyer, except where the client debriefs you. Where the client writes you and says, please, I don't want you again. You will just thank God. You are not paying. You don't want me again. Let me go. But most clients will not do that. You have a duty to represent the client competently under Rule 16. Your competence. But as a matter of fact, our rule says that if I don't know an area of law, I should consult others who know. That's our rule. They can lead me. It's nothing shameful in what you don't know. Get another lawyer. You are not versed in maritime law and you have a maritime brief. Don't go and take a risk and fly a plane when all you have trained to fly is a Cessna jet. And you now went and enter earpiece, Boeing 787. And you say, ladies and gentlemen, pray, let us go. And you are flying. And you are flying because you have volume 1 of how to fly Boeing 767. You forgot that volume 2 is how to land it. You just begin to sing, nearer, my Lord, to thee. nearer to the, because you carry yourself from Nigeria to go and meet God in heaven. So you don't know all in the field of law. What did I say? You don't know all in this profession. You keep asking questions. We ask questions. Just like Professor Victor said, we are all learners. We keep asking questions on a daily basis. The person who taught me legal writing is still a doctor of law, but for every writing I make up to now, I send to him. And it's vast in writing. Very vast. He just got a doctorate 2 years ago, but he taught me early. He was my student in the university. Any little thing I write, I send to him. He will correct, highlight the areas. He will send it back to me. I write well, but I'm not an expert. So don't be the alpha and omega of knowledge. You are not one. Even if you have PhD in literature review, you know PhD in literature review, you have reviewed all the scholars in the world. No, you still need somebody to look at your work. So it's not academic wickedness when we look at your work. You are just fulfilling the duty you owe. So please, in your competence, know that you are not the master of all. You must also avoid conflict of interest. Rule 17 of the RPC. You know this case you are doing is going to have direct conflict with your interest. You have to give it to another lawyer. You have to decline the brief. Remember confidentiality rule. Somebody has confided in you. I'm giving all my estates to charity. In the evening, you have left the client. You now call the wife. Madam, it don't happen. Oh. God don't do his will. God is not giving you anything. Oh. You know, that's the end of your license. Because the man told you in confidence, I'm giving everything I have to a charitable organization. And he didn't tell you to go to AIT and broadcast it. He didn't tell you to go to Channels TV. So as a lawyer, even when the matter is being done pro bono, keep the client's confidence. The man told you at the correctional service, truly, I shot the guy. He said, hey, come and see, oh, the person that killed the man has confessed. My client has said I killed. How many of you will do that as law students? Let me see your hand up. The client just told you now. Somebody is raising a hand. That's the end of your license. You just wave your license by. Because it is the duty of the state to prove. Section 135 of the Evidence Act. He who assert must prove. Don't say, but the client already told me that he killed. Yes, he told you in confidence. If you are not a lawyer, the question is, will he have told you? That's the question. If you are not in a client-attorney relationship, will he have given you such a confidence? There are secrets with lawyers that goes to their grave. There are some secret lawyers here you see we have. You won't see it. Even at gunpoint, not in our wife. We won't reveal it. That's the training. You have to keep every information you get on the field. Not even to write article on it. For those of you who like writing, yes, at Kuje, somebody said that he's the one that killed the wife of the pastor, and you are now writing, and you are revealing all their details. If they catch you, that's the end of your career. So you have a duty to accept brief. Rule 24 says, upon the right fee being tendered, but there are exceptions to every rule. We call it the carte blanche rule. Lastly, benefits of rendering pro bono service. For the society, it engenders social justice in line with Chapter 2 of the Constitution. It helps us with social justice. It gives personal and professional fulfillment. Having helped a person in need, you feel fulfilled. You feel you have helped somebody. How do you feel when you help? Let me cite an instance to you. When we do portfolio assessment in the law school, I had this student when we started newly, 2009. When he came, it's an oral exam, and 70% is the pass mark. I don't know, Dr. Adwak, is this still 70%? Yes. And the student came in, I noticed it wasn't okay. the way he dressed. Permit me to say it, please. After all, you don't know the student. So after I told him to wait for me after the portfolio assessment. So I called him. What happened? You are fidgeting. You are not looking okay. He said, sir, I'm training myself in the university and in the law school. I said, so you don't have clothes? A life story. He said, yes. So I said, follow me. I took him to my house, brought out some clothes, gave him, brought out more, gave him some shoes. On the day of call to bar, I was there in Abuja at ICC. Upon sighting me, he ran from the gates and was running towards me and embraced me fully and was in tears and carried me up. Sincerely, money cannot buy that day for me. Just because you helped a person in need. It's not my tribesman. We are not in the same church, but Law for Humanity Summit. That's just it. You are trained to help others. Let me shock you again. In the month of August, the total money my former students sent to me was a little close to 1 million naira. 2 in Australia. Sir, vacation is coming. Please have this. When they were students, they hit in our house. That's all. But today, I'm the one reaping it. Who is reaping it? Assuming I've closed my door to them, who will suffer it? It's still me. I said it's close to 1 million naira. One sent me 200 Australian dollars. Another sent me 350,000. Another sent me 250,000 in August, just for your vacation. So it's not everything that will give you immediate reward. It was an opportunity to just help the needy. Fingers are not equal. So it gives personal and professional fulfillment, having helped a person in need. For the lawyer, it meets one of the requirements for the privilege of SAN. Also, the added advantage for potential lecturing appointments and clinical legal education opportunities. There are a lot of opportunities in clinical legal education, very many opportunities in clinical legal education. So many of them, fellowship opportunity in CLE. CLE is now a global phenomenon. Several opportunities, even for postdoctoral programs. Several. International conferences, funding, and so on and so forth. As I went down, threats to effective pro bono service. What are those challenges? What are threats? threats? I put in there, if the slide is shown, ignorance and illiteracy. A lot of people are ignorant even of that anybody will even give them pro bono service. So ignorance is always there. And illiteracy. Declining value system and craze for wealth is a threat to rendering pro bono service. Our value system are declining. People want to wear the latest shoe, the latest wristwatch, the latest this and that. To what end? To what end? People will remember you for the impact you made on their life, not for the quality of your wristwatch. When the video, the singer will say, he bought a wristwatch for $1 million. He can afford it. I'm not begrudging him. But if you bring $1 million to my village, we will never forget you. We will never forget you. If you bring $1 million or 500, just take 500. You give us $500,000 to a village and use it for social service there. They will never forget you. So please and please, let's change our mindset. The craze for wealth. I want to make it. Any client that is not paying, I'm not going to listen. No way. Inadequate funding for government agencies, saddled with the responsibility of rendering pro bono. The legal aid councilman will tell you they are not well funded. He may not say it, but I can say it. Legal aid is not well funded. There are a lot of jobs to be done, but we still need to do more. Mentality of immediate reward by lawyers and court officials. You know, our court officials are the second in command now. Anything you want to file, you must add extra money. So most time my junior will say, sir, the man is asking for 50,000. I will ask them, Did the man want to raise the dead? Just because we want to file and serve from Maitama to Wuse, belief is asking for 50,000. It's not every client that pays that much. And you know they won't go. They are the second principality we are dealing with now. And you pray that your file is not missing. Legal practice is not as rosy as we see it. When you see our imported suits and we are shining, it's not as rosy as you see. Lawyers go through a lot handling cases. What about cases where you have traveled and they will just tell you the court is not sitting? It happened to me in June. I flew down to Lagos to go and do a matter. And the matter is actually pro bono. The only thing the client does for me is to pay for my hotel. I pay for my flight ticket. And we got there, no communication. My Lord will not be sitting today. I was just remembering my 450,000 that I used to buy early tickets. That money was just ringing in my head. How did you allow me to just miss this money like this? So those are challenges. The challenges will always be there. Entitlement mentality of the indigents. This is another problem. Some indigents feel entitled. They feel because you are a lawyer now, Madam Lucy now hold them a duty to solve all their family problem. Some people are like that. You give them 5,000 naira, they say, and it's riding a big cow. See the little money he gave me. A sense of no appreciation, and it discourages pro bono work. Economic hardship on some lawyers. Some lawyers have not even been able to pay their own bills, not to talk of bills of others. Especially those who classify themselves as junior lawyers. The rule didn't call anybody junior lawyers. Go and check the rule. So if you're a young lawyer, have a vision where you are going early enough. Ask Mr. Bayo. Mr. Bayo, when he was serving in Advocate Africa, was already going to nations. I'm aware. Nations. But if he wasn't advocate, they won't take him. He's here. I'm not saying it behind him. If you are not advocate, Madam Lucy just came back from Spain. I was laughing at her this morning. I said, the last time I saw you was your pictures in Spain. Now, you also want to become Madam Lucy. But when Madam Lucy was 1 year, 2 years, she might not be in Spain that time. So you grow through the process. Are we together? You do what? I'm talking to law clinicians now. You grow through. So there is economic hardship. Oh, no, I don't want to suffer. I want to go to corporate. And you don't like company law. You don't like karma. So how will you go to corporate? So please have the vision of what you want to do early enough. There is delay in administration of justice. It's a threat. Delay in administration of justice. It's a major threat. You know, our justice system is wonderfully slow. I was in Supreme Court last month, yes. And somebody got a day for 2030. That's the next date. The person we have to pray is alive. In another matter, a motion was brought to strike out the name of the deceased appellant. One of the appellants is late. I have a matter in Oka. The appellant is already dead. And the matter will file in 2018. At the Court of Appeal, we file in Enugu. Later, when they created Oka Division, they moved the matter there. At the time, we were looking for the file. Because of the movement, it affected the case file. So those are challenges with litigation. Delay is there. Then we have what you call geometric progression of terrorism-related activities and non-state actor criminalities in Nigeria. Look at the Kanji trials. How many of us are aware of the Kanji trials? How many lawyers go to Kanji? How many of us even know where Kanji is on the map of Nigeria? Madam Alima will go now because she's MBA Pro Bono Center headquarters. Yes, Mr. Nu will go, my brother. But how many of these, our young colleagues, want to go to Kanji? You want to drive through Mina. You now go through Kanji to go and attend to terrorist case, pro bono. If you get a good hotel there, maybe you have to come back to Mina. So just look at those challenges. And this banditry, they either been killed or arrested and tried summarily and put in jail till they have to go through the process too. So you can see the geometric rate at which we are turning out criminals quote and unquote. So banditry, gang kidnapping. Just this last weekend, people are going on Lokoja, Abuja. The journalist was telling me that it's very safe now. They were kidnapped. I was telling my wife, I'm going to buy a ticket for the whole family. We have to look for 3 million just to fly home and come back for Christmas. Professor Victor, my brother, for an academic of you and I now, you just cover 3 million. Of course, we will go for Christmas, but it's going to be at a cost. I will never advise Madam Lucy to travel by road to anywhere in Nigeria. The highest place I've gone by road is Lafia, within this vicinity. Because I don't want to be kidnapped. Tosin will not take care of my children if they kill me. So it's better you keep paying your ransom to Earpiece and Arik and all manner. That ransom is preferable. They won't beat you. The other ransom will beat you if they don't kill you. Go and ask people who have been kidnapped before. It's not a funny experience. And that's the reality of the country. And we are churning out these people every day. There are camps. So that is there. What about electoral violence? Who will represent them? If you are arrested and you are not the party in power within that vicinity, who will come for you? So we need recommendations now. Number one, improve funding for pro bono service. Number two, amendment of the guidelines for appointment of judicial officers to include provision of pro bono service. Those who want to be judges too, let them also do some pro bono work. The same thing for notary public. Those are my recommendations in my paper. Put it for everybody, not just for private advocates. You to go and do some pro bono, feel it. When you become a judge, you become a better judge. It's not just that we didn't say the charge said bail is hereby denied. A bail that the lawyer paid through his pockets to file, to serve, and just come cheaply to your door, bail is hereby denied. Bail is even a right because there are conditions attached to it. So as I wind down, those are my recommendations. Not only SAN, you want to be a judge, 3 pro bono cases. You want to be a notary public, 3 pro bono cases. When we tie it to privileges we get, it will move better. If international collaboration, such as networking through international bodies such as IBA, for provision of capacity building platforms for enhanced pro bono service delivery. Reforms on workable mechanisms for speedy and efficient administration of justice in Nigeria. Pro bono service as a requirement for notary public in Nigeria. Improve capacity building for law clinics. We need more law clinicians now. We need more. So we have to train more. We have to keep training more. We have to support that so that we all have that value system. Effective coordination of clinical activities across universities and law school campuses by way of filing of annual reports on pro bono interventions of clinics to NGOs such as PPDC. Now you have done pro bono, file your annual reports. Let's have your report. If every clinic, we have a database, we then manage data, then we'll get to the root of this problem. Lastly, rendering pro bono service to indigents is a necessity. It's a necessity, it's not a luxury. Deployment of Catch Them Young initiatives through clinical operations is ripe for the next phase of pro bono transgenerational initiatives, promotion and sustenance in Nigeria. PPDC should be commended for leading this next phase in Nigeria and beyond. Thank you, funding partners of PPDC. Thank you, PPDC. Thank you, pro bono stakeholders in Nigeria, all invitees and you. Thank you very much.
Can we give Prof a rounding applause? Another round of applause, please. We can do better by standing up. I think he deserves a standing ovation, please. That was, oh my God, that was well delivered. If we end this summit now, I am very sure that PPDC has achieved its aim. Professor has taken his time to elucidate and interrogate the theme of this summit. Thank you so much, Prof. We are very, very grateful for that wonderful keynote address. Ladies and gentlemen, now clap for me. Let me see if I have friends. Clap for me. Thank you so much. I know one of this summit is a capacity building and knowledge enhancement exercise. And we carefully selected speakers from diverse areas of practice and academics. And we also carefully selected you, approved your request to be part of this summit. Now, I want you to do something for us. How many of us have an Android phone? Can I see our phones, please? Some of us that have, what is it called? Is it BlackBerry or what? iPhone. Who has iPhone 17? Not SRO in iPhone 17 package. Who has the real iPhone 17 here? Okay, just to inform you that we are streaming live. We are live on all social media handles. And then we want to tell the world that we are here. I want you to tell your neighbor that I am here alive. Tell your neighbor I am here alive. Can you tell your neighbor that I am here alive? Now we want to show it to the world that we are participating in the 2025 Law for Humanity Summit. Now bring your phones, take a selfie. You look beautiful, you look gorgeous. We want to take a selfie. Yes, go ahead, please. I don't want to say any Nokia touchlight. Bring your Android phone. Take a selfie. Who has done that? Beautiful. I like those smiles. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Beautiful selfie. Yes. This is stunning. Outstanding. Now, you go to any of the social media of your choice. We're on LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram. Which other social media platforms do we have? Somebody should mention Tugo here. Tugo is dead. Now go to Facebook, LinkedIn, or any social media of your choice and post that picture with this hashtag Law for Humanity 2025. Who has done? I have gifts. I told when they informed me that I'll be moderating this section, I told them that, please, moderating is not part of my job, KPI in my job. So if you want me to moderate this section, bring gifts, because any ceremony I moderate, I like sharing gifts. And those persons, I'll be giving out gifts this morning or this afternoon to some persons. Now, if you have posted on Facebook, Law for Humanity 2025 hashtag or Law for Humanity Summit 2025. Can I see your hands? Okay, just one person. I'm discouraged. Okay, we have 10. Please, let's post and do well to tag PPDC. Put your hands together for yourselves, please. I know the clinicians that are not clapping. I will mention their names. I know the school that have refused to clap. People want to embarrass me before my CEO. Please put your hands together for yourselves. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a wonderful keynote address from our keynote speaker, and we would have interventions later in the course of the program. I am being informed that I have my own chairman, the chairman of MBA Lafayette branch, Mr. Dennis Aluku. Please, can you take a bow while we recognize you? Yes, thank you so much for coming. We are honored. And Mr. Dennis did not come alone. He came with his secretary, Mr. Nicholas Abundinega. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. I also am reliably informed that we have all the way from Jos, we have the clinic head, we have the clinic coordinator from University of Jos, Dr. One of the clinic coordinators, I'm here to get your name, but we have spotted you and we recognize you. Thank you so much for attending this summit. Okay, the comps, please. How many persons have tagged PPDC? So I will give the gift. How many persons have tagged PPDC yet? I want to give gifts to some persons. My nature is that of giving gifts. While we are waiting for that field from the communication team of PPDC, I want to say, okay, I've gotten what I've been looking for. We have Dr. E.J. Ofo from the University of Jos Law Clinic. Can we appreciate him, please? And Mr. Ofo, Dr. Ofo is not here alone. He's also here with Mr. Gabriel Ekoya from the University of Jos Law Clinic. We appreciate and recognize you. And I am also informed that we have Mrs. Vivian Jagdomi from the same UJ Law Clinic. Please appreciate them. You know, I spent my careers beginning my foundation years in PPDC in Jos. Jos is the only city that you say on the plateau. Even in Abuja, you won't say I am on FCT. You won't say I am on Abuja. But on the plateau, when you want to refer to someone that resides or does business, he says he resides on the plateau. Put your hands together for me. We will now take a section for group photograph. And I want to invite the CEO of PPDC to please come to the podium. I also want to invite our keynote speaker to please come to the podium. Yes. Then for the photograph, we would also invite other members from the VIP stand. Please, CEO and the keynote address speaker, communications teams up there ready? Yes. Yes, ma'am. Please, can we come to the podium? Yes. Thank you so much. Please put your hands together for them. We would invite our panelists to come, but just hold on. We will invite you. This time is for the CEO and the keynote address speaker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please remain standing. Remain standing, yes. Before we call on the next set of persons that will join the CEO and the keynote address speaker, we have the chairperson of FIDA in the FCT, and she's one of our panelists. We recognize you. Thank you so much, Mrs. Choma Oyenucheya Uko Esquire. We recognize you. Thank you so much. Please, we want our panelists, all those at the VIP seat, to please come forward and participate in the photograph. Thank you so much. Please, let's appreciate them. Please, the panelists and the keynote address speaker and the CEO of PPDC. Thank you so much. We also want to call on MBA chairman here, past and present, to please join us. MBA chairman, past and present, to please join us. And the clinic coordinators, please. Clinic coordinators from our universities, please, you can now join us. Our clinic coordinators. And I hope the leader of the MBA Pro Bono team, please, is she here? Please join us, the leader of MBA Pro Bono team, please. Thank you so much. You can give us soft music while we are handling this. Okay, do we have the clinic coordinators, the leader of the MBA Pro Bono team, and the chairperson of FIDA, please. She's a panelist, so the chairperson of FIDA, yes, she's a panelist. Yes. Now, can we have a representative from each law clinic, most preferably the clinic head or his or her deputy, the clinic head of each law clinic present, just one person. Please come forward. Representatives of the clinics, I mean the student leaders of our clinics, please. Okay, thank you so much. Our CEO would kindly remain while every other guest would leave. Our CEO, please. Yes. We now have clinicians from Abuja Law Clinic. Please, time to have photograph with our CEO. Clinicians from Abuja Law Clinic. Clinicians from Abuja Law Clinic, please be fast about it, please. Clinicians from Veritas should get ready after Abuja Law Clinic. After Veritas would have photograph with Nile University law clinicians. Clinicians from Abuja Law Clinic. Can those of Veritas University start stepping forward? Clinicians from Veritas University. Clinicians from Veritas University, are you here? Please start stepping forward, please. And just to tell you, we have a movie screening. Somebody say movie. This is one of the best conferences apart from the sections, well-delivered sections we have carefully chosen. We'll also be screening a movie today, right here in this hall. Okay, thank you so much. Can we now have students from Veritas University? Please, you will pay my CEO for keeping her standing. So those of Nile University, please step forward. After Veritas, it will be your turn. Please, the head of programs should please kindly join the CEO. Yes. Yes, please. No, this is your thing, sir. So you need to be captured. Okay. Please, other members of the SMT or PPDC that are available can also join the CEO. Okay. Thank you so much, student of Nile University. Can we have student of students from Nile University? Okay. After Nile University, we'll have students from ABU Zaria. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Nile University, it is your turn. So come up stage and grab it. Management team members of PPDC, you can also join the CEO. After Nile University, we'll have ABU Zaria. And after ABU Zaria, we have UJ, students of University of Jos. Can we be snappy about this? ABU Zaria, are you ready? Thank you so much. Because of time, the time is not our friend. Let's now have students from UJ, right? UJ, please come forward, step forward. Zaria, please, step forward, please. ABU Zaria, let's be swift about it. Students of UJ should get students of UJ in the house. Do we have students from UJ? Forward. After that, my own people, Nasarawa State University, Kefi. APU, all the way from Zaria, please put your hands together for them. Put your hands together for them.
There's always been a Baggins living here under the hill. In Baggin.
The student from UJ can please step forward. Please. Start coming out. Start coming out. Thank you so much. Student from UJ, is your turn. While those from Nasarawa State University, please get ready. Faster, please, a bit faster. Where are the National State University students? Please, can you step forward? After the National State University student, we have students from Bayes University, Abuja. Please start coming down. Students from National State University, Kefi. Okay, thank you so much. You can leave through this way, please. Through this way. Kefi, take this way. After Bayes University, we have Philomath University. Please, let's make it faster. After the Philomath University, it will be a special time for our pro bono lawyers. If you're a lawyer and you have one time or the other engaged in the delivery of pro bono legal services to the indigent in the society, it will be your turn. Bayes University. Do we have students from Bayes University here? Do we have students? Please, can you come forward, please? Can you come through this way? Student from Bayes University. This way, please. And finally, for the clinician category, students from Philomath University. Do we have students from Philomath University here? You have students from Philomath University. If you are from Philomath University, please can you step forward? We are the students from Philomath University. Okay. Please step forward. Thank you so much, Bayes University. The two-man squad. Put your hands together for them, please. The two ladies from Bayes, from Philomath University. And now, if you're a pro bono lawyer, the phrase pro bono lawyer, what is even the meaning? If you have rendered pro bono services one time or the other, then this summit is for you and about you. It is now our turn. All the pro bono lawyers, please, can we step forward and have a group photograph? Turn for pro bono lawyers, please. This one I join. Pro bono lawyers. Manasseh, are you not a pro bono lawyer? Student clinicians, please start clapping for our pro bono lawyers. Start clapping for us until we are done with this photograph, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And finally, we want to invite our state teams from Nasarawa, Kaduna, Plateau, Adamawa, Ebonyi, Oyo. Please appreciate the team that is championing the enhancement of justice in Nigeria. Can you clap for this wonderful team, please? Plateau is not here. We need you. Adamawa. Are we good to go? Please appreciate the team. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Please, thank you so much, everyone. It's important that we took our time to celebrate everyone here. Last year, when we were hosting this event, we actually had resources. I like to say it, that we had resources to pay for everything that brought them and took them back. Everything that brought the team from the 5 states, the pro bono lawyers, the clinicians, the duty solicitors, we paid for their flight or their road transport, their accommodation, their per diem, their feeding, their local transport, and everything. While speaking about, I was really shocked that we still got people from all the states come in because we didn't provide that this year. So I want to say thank you for seeing the value, the value is beyond what PPDC can do. Is those little contribution that each and every student, I was shocked, students, the schools themselves, and the pro bono lawyers, the PDSs have seen that this conference or this summit adds to their own profession. And I want to say you guys are really the real MVP. Please put your hands together for yourself again. We are hoping that next year we can get more resources to keep hosting this event and make it part of our brand. So thank you so much. Over to you, Joshua. Thank you.
Let's appreciate our CEO one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, our food is ready. This will be time for a break so that we could have a lunch, or is it tea break? But before that, I saw my lecturer here. He taught me family law at the River State University. I know then the affiliation, doctor, I don't know whether he's a prof now or associate prof, but ladies and gentlemen, it is my nature, and I want to recognize specially my lecturer, Dr. L.O. Muzi. You're welcome, sir. We appreciate you, sir. Yes. Thank you so much. Our lunch is ready, and then we have a stand. Our ushers will lead our special guests to the special avenue where they will have their lunch. For the rest of us, just sit tight. We will serve you here. And also want to recognize the presence of one of our panelists for our afternoon section, Mr. Inebeng Efyong Esquire. Let's put our hands together for him. Yes, we'll hear him speak during his section. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize you specially. We appreciate your time, and we want to assure you that we have refreshment for every one of us. Sit tight, remain where you are. Our ushers will come and serve you. Our panelists and our VIPs, our ushers will also lead you to the hall where you have your refreshment. Thank you so much. Can you play us light music, please? We want to also specially recognize one of our special guests that will lead us in the technical section. His Honor Ehusani Ebel Simpa. You're welcome. We recognize you specially. Thank you so much, please. Please, our VIPs and our invited guests would have their refreshments at the hall upstairs. Hello, please. We have only 15 minutes for the refreshment because we have a very important movie that you need to see. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we have carefully selected participants in this summit. If you're not a lawyer, you're not a clinician, you're not a justice stakeholder, then you do not have any business being here. And let us also inform you that we have security personnel that have been mandated to apprehend and prosecute any miscreant, anyone found here trying to do what he or she is not supposed to do. We have the pro bono lawyers here. We have the clinicians here. So if you commit any offense here, maybe it is pro bono lawyers from Cameroon that you will hire, because the pro bono lawyers in Nigeria are in this hall. Please, we also want to advise participants to be very careful of your personal belongings. Please take responsibility, watch over your personal belongings. And we advise you to know the name of your neighbor, the person sitting beside you. Finally, I want to inform us, those of us that want to pray, we have mats upstairs. You can go for your prayers. In a few minutes' time, we'll be ready for the movie screening. Those of us that wants to pray, you can go upstairs. We have made provisions for you to pray. I mean, our Muslim brothers and sisters. Thank you so much. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Linda Daze, please, your attention is needed. Linda Daze, Esquire. Your attention is needed at the rostrum, please.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its access.
PPDC for relating these facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this group. Before all the facilities came here, this room was close to being empty. But now with the facilities we sent to us, we can have our case conferencing, simulate, meetings, escort meetings that we held here. They're very, very thankful for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its access.
PPDC for relating these facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this group. Before all the facilities came here, this room was close to being empty. But now with the facilities we sent to us, we can have our case conferencing, simulate, meetings, escort meetings that we held here. They're very, very thankful for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be starting the second section for today in 5 minutes' time. We crave your kind indulgence to be seated in the auditorium. Please, our colleagues that are outside will be reconvening for the second section in about 5 minutes' time. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, we are far behind schedule, and we will be reconvening for second section in 3 minutes' time. I've been told that we have extension of time. Are we granting the extension of time?
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, a civil society organization promoting transparency and accountability for a better Nigeria, presents the Access to Justice Parley and Law for Humanity Summit 2025, Nigeria's leading national platforms, uniting change makers across the justice and security sectors. Join us this November from 3rd to 6th November 2025 for two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape. At the third Access to Justice Parley, we explore justice, security, and governance, a unified agenda for Nigeria's sustainable development. At the Law for Humanity Summit, we celebrate the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Together, these events spotlight fairness, professionalism, and inclusive access to justice for all. If you believe in justice, equity, and good governance, this is where you need to be.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its accessories.
PPDC for relating these facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this room. Before all the facilities came here, this room was closed to be empty. But now, with the facilities we sent to us, we can have our case conference in late meetings, executive meetings can be held here. They're very big thank you for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, a civil society organization promoting transparency and accountability for a better Nigeria, presents the Access to Justice Parley and Law for Humanity Summit 2025, Nigeria's leading national platforms, uniting change makers across the justice and security sectors. Join us this November from 3rd to 6th November 2025 for two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape. At the third Access to Justice Parley, we explore justice, security, and governance, a unified agenda for Nigeria's sustainable development. At the Law for Humanity Summit, we celebrate the quintessential pro bono lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Together, these events spotlight fairness, professionalism, and inclusive access to justice for all. If you believe in justice, equity, and good governance, this is where you need to be.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its accessories.
PPDC for relating these facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this room. Before all the facilities came here, this room was closed to be empty. But now, with the facilities we sent to us, we can have our case conference in late meetings, executive meetings can be held here. They're very big thank you for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, a civil society organization promoting transparency and accountability for a better Nigeria, presents the Access to Justice Parley and Law for Humanity Summit 2025, Nigeria's leading national platforms, uniting change makers across the justice and security sectors. Join us this November from 3rd to 6th November 2025 for two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape. At the third Access to Justice Parley, we explore justice, security, and governance, a unified agenda for Nigeria's sustainable development. At the Law for Humanity Summit, we celebrate the quintessential pro bono lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Together, these events spotlight fairness, professionalism, and inclusive access to justice for all. If you believe in justice, equity, and good governance, this is where you need to be.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its accessories.
PPDC for relating these facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this room. Before all the facilities came here, this room was closed to be empty. But now with the facilities we sent to us, we can have our case conferencing, stimulate, meetings, expo meetings can be held here. They're very big thank you for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, a civil society organization promoting transparency and accountability for a better Nigeria, presents the Access to Justice Parley and Law for Humanity Summit 2025, Nigeria's leading national platforms, uniting change makers across the justice and security sectors. Join us this November from 3rd to 6th November 2025 for two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape. At the third Access to Justice Parley, we explore justice, security, and governance, a unified agenda for Nigeria's sustainable development. At the Law for Humanity Summit, we celebrate the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Together, these events spotlight fairness, professionalism, and inclusive access to justice for all. If you believe in justice, equity, and good governance, this is where you need to be.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its accessories.
PPDC for relating these facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this room. Before all the facilities came here, this room was closed to be empty. But now with the facilities we sent to us, we can have our case conferencing, stimulate, meetings, expo meetings can be held here. They're very big thank you for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, a civil society organization promoting transparency and accountability for a better Nigeria, presents the Access to Justice Parley and Law for Humanity Summit 2025, Nigeria's leading national platforms, uniting change makers across the justice and security sectors. Join us this November from 3rd to 6th November 2025 for two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape. At the third Access to Justice Parley, we explore justice, security, and governance, a unified agenda for Nigeria's sustainable development. At the Law for Humanity Summit, we celebrate the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Together, these events spotlight fairness, professionalism, and inclusive access to justice for all. If you believe in justice, equity, and good governance, this is where you need to be.
table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its accessories.
PPDC for medicine facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this group. Before all the facilities came here, this room was close to being empty. But now with the facilities extended to us, we can have our case conference, Zoom links, meetings, technical meetings can be held here. They're very big thank you for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public and Private Development Center, PPDC, a civil society organization promoting transparency and accountability for a better Nigeria, presents the Access to Justice Parley and Law for Humanity Summit 2025, Nigeria's leading national platforms, uniting change makers across the justice and security sectors. Join us this November from 3rd to 6th November 2025 for two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape. At the third Access to Justice Parley, we explore justice, security, and governance, a unified agenda for Nigeria's sustainable development. At the Law for Humanity Summit, we celebrate the Quintessential Pro Bono Lawyer, providing value without compromising professional standards. Together, these events spotlight fairness, professionalism, and inclusive access to justice for all. If you believe in justice, equity, and good governance, this is where you need to be.
We also provided this 10-seater conference table with the chairs on it, and we provided a 3.5 kV hybrid inverter facility with its accessories.
PPDC for medicine facilities to us. They've been very, very useful, most especially to this group. Before all the facilities came here, this room was close to being empty. But now with the facilities extended to us, we can have our case conference, Zoom links, meetings, technical meetings can be held here. They're very big thank you for this facilities. They've been very helpful.
Are you passionate about justice reforms and building a better Nigeria? The Public
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we kindly crave your indulgence to come inside and have your seats. We are about reconvening in the next 30 seconds. We'll be reconvening for the next section. Please, our ushers should assist us to invite all those that are outside.
For two landmark events shaping Nigeria's justice landscape.
DJ.
At the third Access to Justice Parley.
Or sound system, please. Thank you so much. Please, our usher should assist us to invite all those that are outside to please come inside and take their seats. We want to reconvene for a very important section, which is to screen a movie In the agenda, we had outlined 1 hour for that, but because of the paucity of time, we would be abridging that time to 30 minutes. Can we all come and have our seats, please? Where are the ushers? Please, can you usher people back to their seats? We are expecting our guests and participants to be seated right now as we commence the afternoon section. Please, can we have our seats? The ushers, please. Sorry. Please, everyone outside should come inside and have his or her seats. Sorry, can we all go inside? We are commencing, please. Don't want anyone outside any longer, please. Can you go have your seats? Kindly have your seat, please. No more photo taking, please. Please, hello? Excuse me, please. What's that? Hello? Please, make your things over. Have your seats, please. Let's go inside. Hello? Can we go inside, please? Can we go inside? Please, all the ushers, we don't want people outside, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending the 2025 Law for Humanity Summit. We would now, Manasseh, please. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending the 25 Law for Humanity Summit. And for some reasons, we would have to readjust our agenda. This time, we would be having the panel section on the gains of pro bono beyond the sick. And it is now my pleasure to invite our moderator for this section, Moturayo Ani Baba, to come lead us and invite our distinguished panelists. Ladies and gentlemen, just as we've said earlier, we would have the section on the gains of pro bono beyond the sick. And my colleague Motorayo would be moderating that section. In place for her, Manasseh Apa would introduce the guests, and then Mo will take over from him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Joshua. I believe we all had sumptuous lunch and breakfast. Am I correct? Who did not get anything in this hall? Okay, I believe we all had breakfast, and we are so heavy now and ready to listen. So without wasting time, I'll be inviting the panelists to the stage. This is going to be an interesting session. If you look at your agenda, is the gains of pro bono beyond the silk. We all know as lawyers that, or let me say most lawyers, anytime you see them jumping from one jurisdiction to the other, doing pro bono cases, you know something is at the corner. They are maybe put up their applications, or they are actually preparing to put an application for the silk. Now at PPDC, we've been doing pro bono cases, and then we felt it's important we have this session to further amplify what we are doing and also to encourage lawyers in the field as per the gains of these pro bono services beyond just attaining the rank of the sick. And to this justice to this session, we have first, as a panelist, we have Mr. Enibehe F. Young, Esquire. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's actually a popular face, but the name, I've been practicing to pronounce this name since last night. Please can we put our hands together for Mr. Enibehe F. Young. I'm sure most of us here have seen him on televisions most times. Can we keep clapping until he comes to the stage? We can do better, we can do better. Are we still hungry? Thank you so much, sir. You can have your seat. We also have Mr. Nuhu Egia, Esquire. Can we keep clapping, please? We also have Mr. Bayo Akinlade, Esquire. And then the last on the list, we have Onye Nucheya Uko, Esquire. Permit me, please, if I did not call it correctly. These persons here will be Mr. Okay. We'll be doing justice to this topic. Having introduced the panelists, I will now hand over the mic to the moderator of this session, who will take it up from here. Can we welcome Muturayo Anibaba? Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. How are we doing? How is the conference going so far? I'd like to take two people to quickly tell me. One pro bono lawyer and one clinic coordinator. I think I'll take our clinic coordinator from Adamawa State. Please, can we give him a microphone?
Thank you very much, Moturayo. That's being selfish since you picked your own state. My name is Dr. Yakusak Adwak. I'm the Law Clinic Coordinator, Nigerian Law School, Yola Campus. And I must say that it's a great privilege to have someone in the caliber of Professor Bukola Akinola to give the keynote speech. Thank you very much, Professor. Of the greatest Nigerian student, of the greatest Nigerian student, can you give 3 fundamental bossa to the prof?
Bossa.
Bossa. Bossa. And count it up with a boing, boing. Thank you very much. Some people are not in the spirit. So we pray that the spirit of Aluta will come on them. Amen. All right, so sincerely speaking, the tone has been set. The need for pro bono services is enormous. Justice is a human need. And permit me to use the example of the importunate widow in Luke chapter 18. There are a lot of people out there in need of justice. And I'm happy that we are beginning to demystify the concept of pro bono, that if you're not seeking for the silk or any other privilege, if you're doing pro bono work, it looks like you are a struggling lawyer. But indeed, pro bono service is at the heart of the honor of the legal profession. That is so far my takeaway, and I believe that as the summit gets to the crescendo, it's going to really be very evident what pro bono is all about, and at the heart of service to humanity and justice, pro bono is at the core of it. So let me keep it that simple. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I think that will be all for now. Let's get into the panel session. All right, so this afternoon, we're going to be looking at the gains of pro bono beyond the silk. And I'm honored to moderate this session. My name is Muturai Anibaba, and I have with me exceptional lineup of speakers from Mr. Bayo Akinlade, Mrs. Chioma, the chairperson of FIDA. I have with me Mr. Nuru, and I also have Inibehi with me. Nuhu. All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, so you all agree with me that the very essence of the legal profession is service. Beyond the title, beyond the prestige, beyond the silk, what really determines our commitment to justice is how we are able to use our skills to uplift others and also to bridge the justice gap. And so this afternoon, this panel session would not be your typical question and answer panel sessions. We are going to be having presentations from each of the speakers, and after that, we are going to take questions from the audience. I have with me this afternoon exceptional lineup of speakers. They are thought leaders, they are practitioners who have not only shown excellence in the law, but they have also embodied the spirit of service beyond the courtroom. So I would like for you to please put your hands together as I welcome my speakers this afternoon. Thank you very much. So we're going to be taking the first session. I'm going to be inviting Mr. Akinlade to the podium to give us his presentation. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's also a pleasure to see a lot of my colleagues and friends. I'm getting used to calling Bukola Prof. Because every time I remember him, I remember the days of class fund, student body. And some of us here are probably not born back then, because a lot of you are still in, some of you are still in university, correct? And This was when? In the 90s, Abi? Yeah, when we used to travel up and down as Christian lawyers, going from one conference to the other, and encouraging one another in how to practice this law. So I have a paper. So maybe what we'll do is I'll just speak to it, and then they can give us a paper later. We're talking about pro bono beyond the silk. Back when we were in university, I went to ABU Zaria, by the way. ABU Zaria. And in fact, I think as far back as 1993 in ABU Zaria, I was heavily involved in a lot of legal aid. We didn't have legal aid clinics back then as it is now, but we had a lot of other activities where, as students, we were able to, support the communities around us with some of our legal knowledge at the time. So back then, I recall hosting a program at the Faculty of Law in Zaria, and it was to bring in Legal Research and Resource Development Center. Now, that was a human rights NGO that I joined as a volunteer way back in 1991. And, throughout my tenure in the university, being a member of Class Fund, we had a lot of activities where we went around the whole place supporting people. I think I traveled to about 18 states, 18 universities to be specific, between 1993 and 1998. And then in law school, they taught us something which I would never forget. They didn't teach us law as a business back then. I think now, I'm starting to hear, after 24 years of practicing this law, I'm starting to hear people talk about law as a business. But back then, when we were being trained, we were trained that a lawyer would go first to serve justice and serve his client. And on his way, there's this little pocket in the gown. And on his way, they would drop a penny inside that hole in your gown, and you would just walk away. That was what we were taught. And I actually took it to heart because I refer myself to a lawyer's lawyer, that even a lawyer needs a lawyer, correct? Do you think so? That a lawyer needs a lawyer? And it was on that premise that I mostly focused on choosing a career path to support not only lawyers, but to support the less privileged amongst us. Now, not all of us will be a pro bono lawyer, not all of us will be a public interest lawyer, not all of us will be an activist. But the very first thing that you need to think about is, if you want to be that kind of lawyer that supports the weak and the less privileged, you have to count the cost. You have to sit down, and I think Prof made a reference to this. Money cannot be your priority. Fame cannot be your priority. Now, the reason why I'm saying not your priority doesn't mean that you cannot get fame, and doesn't mean you cannot get money out of being a public interest lawyer or being a pro bono lawyer. In fact, some of our greatest pro bono lawyers today are some of the wealthiest lawyers. How many of you know Femi Falana? I mentioned Femi Falana first because a lot of you would see him today. And if you look back into the history, if you do your research, you'll know that before Femi Falana was Gani Fawemi. And did you know that a former national president of Class Fund, Olisa Agbakuba, he's still alive today, was one of also the, sorry? Yes, former president of MBA, was one of the foremost lawyers who, through Civil Liberties Organization, started the CSOs that we see today. Those were the people who drove those agendas of fighting for the less privileged under military rule. So and today is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Femi Falana is a senior advocate of Nigeria. And let me even rock your boat. How many of you know Festus Keyamo? You see, I'm very careful because when I gauge my audience, a lot of you are probably under 25. How many of you are over 25 here? How many of you are over 25? You are over 25 years old. See? So, when I mention some people's name, but do you know that Festus Keyamo, I think it was in the late 90s or in the early 2000s, was also a protege of Gani Fawemi. I think he worked in his law firm. And back in the day, he used to fight a lot of cases for people who could not afford it. Today, he's the Minister of Aviation, Abi, and a senior advocate. So, beyond the silk, what is it that you want to achieve in your legal practice? What do you see around you? A lot of us come from different villages and towns around Nigeria. Do you have a plan to go back to your community and make it a better place? These are the questions we're asking. And in my years of travel, and I started traveling quite early. By the time I was 2 years post-call, I'd already been to 5 African countries, including the US and Europe. By the time I was 9 years post-call, I'd been to over 30 countries around the world. And what I saw at a global level was that what's happening next door to you and I is happening globally. It's nothing different. So when I decided to resign in 2009, I relocated back from South Africa, which was my last basic where I stayed before I came back to Nigeria. I decided to go to a community in Lagos, not a community I was even from, a community in Lagos called Ikorodu. And I went there, and everything I had learned globally, and every engagement I'd been to the UN, I'd spoken at the UN, I'd spoken at the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, I've spoken at the AU. Everything I learned at a global scale, I decided that in this community of less than, maybe at the time it was less than maybe 50,000 people, and my community was the resident of about 30 families. I decided that I was going to put all that global knowledge and start right from my community. Because if you are not a good leader in your community, if you cannot provide your legal skills and turn it around for the community that you are living in, then we've not really started. Of course, in that community, I went from my estate to the immediate community around my estate and then to the local government. And I started the same thing I did at local level, providing legal support free legal services for the people in that community. And of course, I joined the Bar Association. I was there. I was secretary of the branch, and I used that opportunity to also put in my best. As somebody who has international skills and knowledge, it was difficult because when you've been to all these other very developed countries and then you come back to your local community where maybe the average person has never even left Lagos State, it's very difficult. Sometimes I'm tempted to be at their level, provide services at their level, but I resist that temptation and give them the best, no matter what they're able to afford. And most of the time, I don't even know how to charge. Unfortunately, I'm one of those lawyers that can't tell you, bring this amount of money. So, but for those who know it and how to charge, there's always a tendency for you to give a high price for your knowledge. And then when they are not able to pay, there's also the tendency to give them the kind of advice that comes with what they can afford. But Prof also told us about that. The rules of professional ethics demands that we provide legal services with utmost care and skill. And we shouldn't use the clients to gauge what those services are. But using our skills and knowledge, we have to provide the best. And if you are not sure about the case that is before you, Prof also alluded to it, you need to consult with another lawyer. So there are circumstances where you may not be able to afford to provide pro bono services from start to finish of a case, but you should also know that you have colleagues that you can partner with. So let me just expand this. There are 3 stages in, I'll call it 3 stages in attending to a client. There's the first stage of listening to what the client has to say and then advising the client. There's a stage of if you have to write a letter, and then the stage of going to court. Now, you need to count the costs. If you are able to give legal advice, but you are not able to afford to write a letter and follow it up, you can get another lawyer who is willing to do that, okay? And then when you get to that stage of writing letters and maybe you are not getting any way forward and it's time to go to court, you can always go to another lawyer who likes to go to court. Like my brother there wearing white. There's a stage me I will not go, but he likes that court thing, you know, so he can drag that matter there. Abi? Am I wrong? So there are stages in where you can partner as a pro bono lawyer. You don't have to take the load on yourself. You need to count the cost. Now, the pros and cons already Professor Bukola talked about that. It is not for everyone. But when I'm talking to students, when I was in your shoes, I already knew what I wanted to achieve. And the sky is your limit. Like I said, by the time I was 2 years post-call, who is timing me? By the time I was 2 years post-call, I was already in the United States. And I was addressing in the US, I was addressing powerful lawyers, powerful politicians from different countries. And this was just 2 years post-call. I was before the Attorney General and Solicitor General of the United States talking about justice in Africa. This is 2 years post-call.
Sir, one more minute.
1 month. So it's very hard to share 25 years of legal experience in 10 minutes, but I'm sure that you guys get the gist. And of course, I have a small paper that you can all read, and You can always contact me by WhatsApp. I've made a commitment. I'm making a commitment to PPDC to be a pro bono lawyer for them. So we will discuss the fine tuning of that, but any opportunity you have, and you can't say because you are students right now, because I'm talking to a lot of students, you can do a lot, and Prof said it. You can do research, you can do referrals, and you can, do follow-up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Please, I'd like to tell us to jot down our questions, comments. We'll be taking them after the presentation. Thank you so much, sir. And I'd like to remind our speakers that they have 10 minutes. 10 minutes for their presentation, so we can take more questions from the audience. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm going to be inviting Mr. Inibehi Effiong for his presentation. Ten.
Good afternoon, everyone. Greatest Nigerian students, ever-conscious Nigerian students. It's looking like the hall is too quiet. So I'm hoping that that can get us to be a bit more agile. Thank you for inviting me to the Public Development Law for Humanity Summit 2025. I'm quite conscious that I'm addressing people with legal background, whether as members of the profession or as aspirants to the bar. My philosophy about law practice is that a lawyer is only useful to the extent that his application of the law has practical value to the society. His practice of law has practical value to the society in which that lawyer resides or practices. That is my philosophical leaning. Now, it is correct, like my learned senior has posited, that law is both a business and a calling. But for us who are seated in this hall, attending this conference, that are law students, my own recollection is that when I was a law student, even up to the Nigerian law school, my